In the upcoming episodes of EastEnders, Zack and Whitney's joint stag and hen do brings light relief amidst their tumultuous lives. Meanwhile, Jade confronts Dean before leaving for Pakistan. Jay grapples with Nadine's pregnancy bombshell while preparing for the London Marathon. The episode concludes with a heartwarming proposal, marking a historic moment. Eve from EastEnders plays Suki for fun. Whitney takes photos with Zack. Sten. Fans of EastEnders will have a treat in store in the upcoming weeks as their favorite characters, Zack and Whitney, will be attending a joint hen and stag do while dressed in their finest fancy dress. The Sten wedding occurs at a critical juncture in the couple's life. Viewers of EastEnders are only now witnessing their engagement on screen amidst a legal battle with social services over Brittany's care, and the gradual revelation of Zack's extramarital affair with Lauren Branning, which has infuriated Bianca. However, fans can look forward to some light relief thanks to the Sten do, and in honor of the event, some new images have been revealed. The outfits are incredibly well made, with one in particular grabbing the eye. In another scene, Billy plays Fred Flintstone, while Honey plays Wilma Flintstone. Eve is shown wearing a black wig, styled with a bouffant half-updo and a distinctive gray coat tied around the waist. For some reason, Sonia is seen wearing a scaly top with a fish on her head, and Priya's disco cowboy outfit is obviously a Beyoncé copy. The future bride isn't visible yet, but the man looks dapper in a suit a la James Bond and neat hair. Martin and Chelsea are in charge of organizing the party, and I believe they did a fantastic job. Whitney invites Bianca to be her maid of honor in another scene. Would she accept, given her knowledge of Zack's infidelity? In the most recent episode of EastEnders, a character has left Walford, leaving one villain by themselves. Jade Massoud was through a farewell party in the Vic as he was ready to head out for Pakistan. However, following her father's request for a visitation, Dean Wick's Jean Slater, Gillian Wright, was coerced into going with Jade by her. The teenager confronted Dean, who is charged with killing Keanu Taylor, the one crime he did not commit, and demanded the truth. Dean was adamant about his innocence, while Jean cautioned Jade against believing her horrible father's falsehoods. Jade succeeded in getting Dean to admit to tampering with her medication just when it appeared that she might be taken in. Shaken and enraged, Jade spit out of the prison and commanded him to rot in hell. She was devastated because she had thought Jean was to blame for her antibiotics, but Jean adamantly maintained that Jade was now clear of Dean and could travel to Pakistan to be with her cherished mother Shabnam Massoud. Speaking with Linda Carter, Kelly Bright, again at the Vic, Jade expressed her hope of finding some closure for what the rapist Dean had done to her. Naturally, Linda is also the real murderer of Keanu. As Keanu's distraught sister Bernie Taylor came from overseas, Jean, Stacey Slater, Harvey Monroe, and a few local teenagers gathered to bid farewell to Jade. After a cordial conversation between Jade and Bernie, Jade was taken from the square while yelling a happy goodbye. Dean felt abandoned and alone in his cell, which is exactly what he deserved. However, what does this indicate for Jade? Will she return, or is this the final time we see her? Is Jade Massoud going to be back on EastEnders? Jade's relocation to Pakistan is official, according to RadioTimes.com, despite the BBC having not commented on whether the character will ever return to EastEnders. It's probably safe to assume that she won't be returning anytime soon. But since Dean is still a part of the show and pals like Avani Nandrahart have become close to her, it's possible that Jade could eventually find her way back to Walford. The Slaters will always be there to greet her when she comes to visit. Jean has grown especially close to Jade during the absence of her best friend, Jade's paternal grandma Shirley Carter, a character we hope to see return to the screen in the near future. And there was that tender moment with Linda, the kind that may strengthen the tie between an aunt and her niece. Alternatively, Jade might come back and discover that Linda is the real murderer and Dean isn't. Jade might surprise us all by returning with a relative, such as grandfather Masood Ahmed, who was only one of the sadly deceased clan's members. But for now, it's goodbye to Jade. Star Green's stirring farewell performance makes us want to see her again in the future. EastEnders presents touching moments in a historic early iPlayer release. Walder hailed the success of two of its own employees who completed the London Marathon. Spoilers for the EastEnders episode that aired on April 22, 2024, are included. You can watch the show on iPlayer right now. In the most recent episode of EastEnders, there was much-needed joy after Honey Mitchell and Jay Brown, Jamie Borthwick, created history by running the London Marathon in real time to coincide with the annual event this year. Jay thought about withdrawing before the election, believing he couldn't run in memory of his late wife Lola Pierce Brown after learning he had gotten sex worker Nadine Keller pregnant. Billy Mitchell, meanwhile, made a number of hilarious mistakes in his desperate attempt to pop the question to his sweetheart, Honey. He laughed a lot when he unintentionally proposed to Phil Mitchell instead, and when he attempted to take the engagement ring from the marathon venue, he was arrested for stealing. When her grandfather Phil tried to persuade her to open up, Lexi Pierce, who was still very much infatuated with Jay, at the Vic, displayed her signature Mitchell attitude. Phil reassured Lexi that her family would support her no matter what, and the two of them headed to the finish line to support Jay and Honey. Lexi had doubts about Jay and her other stepfather, Callum Highway. Stars to the applause of their co-stars, Barton and Borthwick finished the marathon. The live sequences were used into the show to support the narrative of their respective alter personas. When Billy finally emerged from a police van and saw Honey at the finish line, he was surprised to learn that the man he had been detained with had taken the ring. Billy was forced to quit up after it appeared that his plan had failed, and the day took a dramatic turn when Jay and a much more composed Lexi chose to sprinkle Lola's ashes on the square. After a heartfelt speech on Lola's loving legacy, Jay and Lexi made a commitment to let go of their hurt and focus only on the wonderful memories they would always cherish. The group then walked on to the Queen Victoria, where Honey disclosed that she had been inspired for the marathon by an audiobook, written by David Gandhi rather than Mahatma Gandhi, as Rice Caldwell had imagined. The townspeople rejoiced as a news clip from the marathon played on the TV in the pub. In it, Honey proposed to a jubilant Billy on one knee, pointing out that it's a leap year. As the Mitchells and their friends celebrated and EastEnders made history once more, the episode came to a happy conclusion. Jamie Borthwick on Jay's response to the EastEnders baby bombshell revealed by Nadine. The actor describes how Jay handles receiving such shocking news. The EastEnder Jamie Borthwick has shared Jay's mental state regarding his alter ego Jay Brown's major baby bombshell while he manages the consequences of Nadine Keller's comeback to Walford. After their brief affair from the previous year, Nadine will inform Jay this week that she is expecting his child. The timing of their meeting was awful. Jay was drawn to Nadine because of her resemblance to his late wife Lola Pierce Brown, Danielle Harold. Jay's sex worker Nadine gave him drugs to help him deal with his sadness, but Nadine left when Jay's loved ones realized what a downward spiral this would cause, and Jay was able to turn his life around. Nadine informs Jay that they are expecting a girl the next week. Later on, he makes an effort to strengthen the link between Nadine and his stepdaughter Lexi Pierce, but Jay and Lexi start to grow apart because of Nadine's circumstances. In an interview with RadioTimes.com and other media, Borthwick was questioned about Jay's emotions following Nadine's revelation. He steps up to the responsibility that he doesn't want. Is Jay genuinely convinced that he is the child's father? It appears to be so. Everyone is aware that Jay, as Perry Fenwick refers to him, is a good man. He therefore undoubtedly fulfills his responsibility. In my opinion, he has bought into and been drawn into this dream. He absolutely has no reason to not believe, so yeah, he's all for it, and he steps up when called upon because he is a good man. Jay is determined to do the right thing, but he is also a little confused because he and Honey Mitchell are scheduled to run the London Marathon in Lola's honor. However, how has Jay's preparation for the event been impacted by recent events? Actor, he's a bit all over the place, really, he says. At this particular moment on screen, the other little blondie's about to walk back in, the old little Lola lookalike, she's about to walk back in. It's a little bit scattered right now, but with everything going on, including Nadine's comeback and the Oppenheimer bomb she drops, the marathon has kind of taken a back seat. It's unclear if everything is as it seems because Nadine feels quite bad about how seriously Jay is taking her condition. When asked about her working relationship with Phoenix, the returning co-star, Borthwick joked, saying, "Obnoxious, so obnoxious, she drives me insane. You know what, she hasn't left since her first spell. Since she's been gone, I've probably seen her 3 times a week." Putting jokes aside, the actor had nothing but respect for the actress, who has quickly grown to be a favorite cast member. "It was nice to have her back at work since we are very close friends and we are great. It was incredibly pleasant for us to work together on certain projects once more because she is a highly sought-after partygoer who fits in perfectly and is adored by all. It felt great to have her back." Please subscribe our channel.